Yo, this is for the clout chasers, the fake haters. We see you in the vapors. You sitting there gossiping, acting all tough, but in real life, y'all ain't nothing but fluff. Stalking the records like it's your 9 to 5. While you dream up in life, you're barely alive. Obsessing over drama, acting so tragic. Spinning lies about kids, y'all real magic. Checking on their cycle like what's up with that. Spewing toxic fumes, but we ain't falling flat. It's resentment, pure and raw. Y'all exposed like a toothless jaw. Crying online, begging for that green, while Katie Tyrant, Mr. 303, living the dream. Crying in your crew, y'all sucking your pain. Talking trash cause you got no game. Hate spreads easy when love's out of sight, but we shine while you fumble in the night. Crying in your crew, y'all just wasting air. Tearing others down cause you can't compare. AC and Brett, drama bonding real tight. Lying on anyone just to feel right. Ask for weed money like you ain't ashamed, while pretending you somebody playing a game. You're snooping on divorces, what's that proof? You a grown adult, nah you ain't smooth. Talking about disability like it's a joke, but karma's coming for you, don't joke. It's resentment, pure and raw. Y'all exposed like a toothless jaw. Crying online, begging for that green, while Katie Tyrant, Mr. 303, living the dream. Crying in your crew, y'all sucking your pain. Talking trash cause you got no game. Hate spreads easy when love's out of sight, but we shine while you fumble in the night. Crying in your crew, y'all just wasting air. Tearing others down cause you can't compare. You talk about cycles and kids in your shade, but look in the mirror, you're the one played. Chasing the ones that you wanna be, but you'll never touch the real OGs. Get off your screen, face reality. Stop trying to live in their fantasy. Crawling in your crew, y'all stuck in your pain. Talking trash cause you got no game. Hate spreads easy when love's out of sight, but we shine while you fumble in the night. Crawling in your crew, y'all just wasting air. Tearing others down cause you can't compare. Yeah, keep flying, keep lying, while we keep rising. Katie, Tyrant, Mr. 303, they live in rent-free, but y'all stay lost at sea. Cry baby crew, we see you. Time to grow up or shut up, choose wisely.
Oh yeah, man. Oh my God. I keep thinking, how are we going to get Susan Bennett and Rex Fredrickson together? That's a question to ponder over the course of the next little bit. Good morning, by the way. Hello, Half Pint. And Guido, of course, Annie, JJ, BS. It's a quiet morning so far. The markets are at a standstill. The FOMC, the Fed are going to come out and try to shit all over the markets today, I'm sure. But who knows? That comes out about, I think, 2 p.m. I don't like days like this necessarily because it's full of volatility. So I like to hold back and wait for the dip, if there is one. Anyway, I shouldn't say I don't like them. I like them just fine. It's just a bit different. Because, you know, the Fed doesn't like the common man making any money in that sense. So it's really, they come out and say if they're going to raise or lower interest rates. And that obviously has an effect on the market. Many say that rates won't change, at least in this meeting. However, back in December, I think it was December 17th, I had a few longs out. And they came out and said, we're only cutting interest rate by 2 times over the course of the next year. And it sent the markets on a bit of a dip, but I was a little greener than I am now. You have to have the stomach for this sort of thing. Oh, nasty. You're too kind. What's going on, BS? It's good to see you this morning. What's new? Have you guys been monitoring or listening to Susan? God bless Susan Bennett. I was up playing around with Grok and asking it all kinds of questions because it certainly knows who Rex is. And I was trying to figure out if I could use AI to somehow come up with a clever plan to introduce these individuals, because in reality, in spite of what they present in front of the microphone on the daily, they're probably fairly lonely. And they probably wouldn't go outside their normal selves and just randomly come on upon one another, but they both have exactly what each other really is looking for. And they both are really seeking similar things, a certain sort of attention. And even though they're pathological liars, they're still human beings in that sense, right? So I think that we should try to make the effort to make a love connection for the sake of entertainment. And you never know where it can go. It can't hurt two grifters in the night. Oh yeah, it's not a good idea. Tell me what you think. Of course, Susan is known for suicide baiting all over the internet, leaving these less than savory videos up all over TikTok. We got to know her a certain way. There's a channel called OLAP that's covering it. It covers Susan's antics as well, and they do a really good job in a simple yet clever way. It's quite entertaining. But this channel has pulled up some of the historic videos that I had never seen, just rumors of course, with her and her so-called son. I'm not questioning your son, Susan. Your son sounds like a lovely gentleman. I just want to make sure that that you don't do any more harm. So let me know what you all think in the comment section below. Now, I want to pull this little clever clip up from 20 minutes 47 seconds of Susan Bennett has officially entered the pasture. Now, this is from OLAP. And if you haven't already, please go over and subscribe. There's the link.
And she's going to go along with it. They know that. They've been around Susan long enough to know that.
This is highlighting the difference in character and persona that Susan leads everybody to believe. The contrast between Purple's panel when she's over there making up and pretending to be friendly with everybody and making amends, and she immediately goes back over to her channel, of course, and seemingly goes from like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of scenario, and then starts really being vicious and angry towards very beautiful Purple Phoenix, which has done nothing.
You know, if what gets me is Susan's one person when she's here, she's another person when she's over there. And
no, I'm sorry about that. I was just talking with the painter and whatnot. Yeah, he's coming back Monday, so yeah.
Okay, so you give him
let's see. I mean,
time.
Look, Book, I'm just gonna interrupt there for 1 minute. I mean, is the painter safe? What do you think I'm gonna do with the painter exactly? I mean,
no, she thought
Slim
thought maybe the painter had fallen or something when they come hollering for you.
That's stupid. I am done with doing this shit, man. I'm so tired of it.
Okay.
Good morning. It takes a mental toll on you as well. Should not have said I was a ex. I'm going to use the ex trafficking word because
you shouldn't have mentioned that. And of course, nobody is alleging that she is. It was just a question. Of course, it's a question that she doesn't want to really acknowledge. She just wants to play victim. And the question is still relevant. She could be very well involved in sex trafficking. We're not to know. We're still figuring that out, of course. Considering everything that's going on currently and will be going on, Susan Bennett's name will remain. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out if you are or not, Susan. I'm not saying that you are, of course, but I'm also not saying that you're not.
When he did that, I had to contact the police about that, because at the end of the day, this man said I was a child ex-trafficker, and that puts my life at danger. He didn't realize when he was saying that, you know. So that has been reported to the police, to be quite honest, here in the UK.
Hey, Amanda, you're muted, hon.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right. How is
Also puts her life in danger is not maintaining her mobility scooter in a way that doesn't put the public in harm. Think about all the situations that I've heard about. I have to look in the back here. There's a clip of Susan's sister, and you've got to hear Susan's sister. And the more and more that I get to know Susan Bennett, the more and more I give credence to her sister that came out a while ago and let everybody know exactly the type of character or lack thereof of this Susan Bennett, which is on your screen right now.
how's everybody else?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good. Susan, I just want to say to you, I wish this would stop. I don't know why you want to keep talking about me. I never did anything to you. You really need to stop. The reason I bring things up is because you keep bringing up my son. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Amanda, when was the last time I talked about that?
You just talked about it. It's on a clip channel. You just talked about it. Yeah,
no, I
my
didn't.
son's dead, but your son's alive.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
kicking
Yeah, I
me.
said that. I think I said it on purpose.
Yeah, do you know anything about it, Susan? If you knew about it, you wouldn't say that.
Well, you shouldn't be bringing up. I mean, everyone knows I lost a child,
Susan?
right? You think
Susan.
that, Amanda? I don't.
You shouldn't be bringing that up. Susan here, she's lost a child. She claims to have lost a child, and you are not treating Susan with enough sympathy and empathy. How dare you? How dare you, Susan?
I don't want to talk to you.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going.
say
No, I'm
something.
going to mute. I'm going to mute.
Okay, great.
Now wait
So
a minute,
Susan,
Susan.
no,
That's
Susan, no, Ian, I'm gonna tell you.
okay.
This is the story. Okay. I was up on her channel. I helped lots of people. We were up there together when she's PTSD, Susan. Okay. And then I shared my story eventually about my son. And Susan, I'm not addicted to Xanax. That was a lie.
Hey, Cinnamon, good to see you.
Oh, really? Shall we bring up the old PTSD lives then? Okay.
Go ahead, Susan. Go ahead, because it's not true. I wasn't addicted to Xanax. I had a child who was born with
Amanda,
severe
you're the
heart
one who's
defects.
bringing that up. I
Susan,
never
you're a
brought
bitch.
that up.
Shut up.
Don't tell me shut up. Fuck you.
Susan, it's her turn.
Oh my
Fuck you,
God.
Amanda.
There's the evil in Susan. This poor gal. I was moved by her story and her claims. Of course, it's just a live stream and anybody can say anything. But here's a situation where something about this and these claims ring true. I don't know anything about the history, but it's very passionate. And Susan, of course, refused to acknowledge any sort of accountability in the harm potentially that she may have done.
Say what you want to say.
Susan, I
bitch.
never did anything to you. I never did
Say what you
anything
want
to
to
you.
say. Say, don't tell me
Can you
shut
mute
up.
her, please? I'm not
I'll
going to
do it
talk over
myself,
her. Okay.
actually.
Good.
Come on, guys. Let's one at a time. Come
Well,
on.
Buckeye, come on. You know how she's been to me. There's nobody.
She goes around and forcibly insists that you treat her a certain way based on something that she claims. Like, I've lost a child. I've been a victim of SA and all of this preemptively, right? There's something awfully suspicious anytime a person does that and acts this way. You demand to be treated a certain way based upon your perceived victimhood. Usually victims really don't want any sort of public acknowledgement. And here Susan Bennett comes around and she insists that you treat her a certain way. And I think that's funny shit. Oh, okay, Susan. Are you okay, honey? Listen, sweetie. We'll treat you accordingly. Oh, are you okay now? Yeah, Slim. Susan has a tendency to want to cover up the reality of situations like this. I see that.
Nobody's seen this shit.
I'm not, Amanda, I'm not jumping on you, honey. I'm just saying, let's talk one.
I'm saying, no one, it gets annoying. And I know this is the internet. Nobody's going to stand up for people.
What she said about you the other day was absolutely wrong and vile.
Yes.
Thank you.
I agree.
And I hope your son's kicking and whatever. She doesn't fucking know. My son's had 2 heart surgeries. He's going to have more. Do you know what the life expectancy of a kid with hypoplastic left heart syndrome is, Susan? Fuck you. And to bring it up and make it seem like I'm a Xanax addicted mother who has a son with blah, blah, blah. You are a liar. Liar. I sent you an email and you said, thank you. I love you. I love you, honey. If you ever need anything, I love you. I was so stupid to ever do that. I was so stupid to ever support you. That was stupid of me. Now you can just
listen. She speaks for a lot of different individuals. I feel there's a lot of and a growing and accumulating amount of accounts and channels and people who watch Susan who feel the same way. That hurts my heart, Susan.
just let it go and never talk about me again. But if you keep this shit up.
Well, shut up talking about me and I'll shut up about you, Amanda. How about that?
You shut the fuck up because you're wrong.
Well, I'll shut up about you
are
then.
wrong.
You shut up about me.
Hey, guess what? Do you remember when you told your story about your son dying? And some people said, "Oh, I didn't know you had a son that died."
Yeah, no, everyone knows that
All
I
these
lost
people,
a
nobody
child.
knew, did they?
Everyone knows.
Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
Amanda, everyone
Nobody
fucking knows
knew.
I lost a child. So shut the fuck
They
up.
do now. They do now.
Oh,
They did
please.
it before,
bitch.
Susan. Bitch.
What? I
I
never
say
mentioned
bitch
that
too.
before. I mean, come on now.
Susan,
You
why
want me
are
to
you
bring
so
up these
hard?
fucking dead paperwork? Let's show them
Susan.
online.
Yeah, I know. You told us the whole story. You printed it out in blue. He's 18. He'd be 19, but you lied about that because you wanted to protect your son. We know all that. Okay. I remember it clearly. So you can just stop. You don't need to bring up my son when you talk about your son. If you want to talk about your son, go ahead. But you know what? You've said a bunch of different stories, so it doesn't look right.
You know, all of these different stories that Susan presents bring into question, you know, I'm not trying to hurt Susan's feelings. I like to have a little fun with her over the internet, that is. But Susan, you can be accepted just the way that you are. Why do you insist to you insist to mislead people all the time, seemingly? It makes me sad. Why can't you just be yourself, Susan?
So when people don't know you got, like, imagine, guys, if you came up on a panel and you were talking to someone who said, I have a son who has these problems, and they never said a word to you. Then you send them an email and they don't say a word like, you know, I wish you the best and my son had this problem or nothing. They don't say a word. I don't want to do this, but Susan, you are lying. That's a lie. And you even said, I didn't see your email till now. That's a lie. You responded to me. That's a lie. You know exactly who I am. You act like you don't know who I am. You know exactly who I am. It's sick. I would never bring up your dead son, as you say, to hurt you. What I'm saying to you is you never told anyone that. And when you told the story, you lied. Can somebody in the chat, when she told the story, did she lie?
No, I
When you
didn't lie
originally
about
told the
child
story,
which I lost. No, I did not. So I ain't gonna
Susan,
fucking
you said he
back
had
down.
one valve. You said he had one valve.
He wasn't gonna survive no matter what.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hello, Lady Spitfire. Right, Cinnamon. So many different accounts. See, everybody used to be allied with Susan in a way. And we want to believe that she's been misled or mishandled by a bunch of trolls. And that was just a theory people floated out there. But the end of it all, it's Susan's decisions and Susan's choices. And she has chosen evil. She's chosen to mislead, misrepresent herself, all in the hopes of baiting in people who sympathize with her and build this ever-growing level of negative support and attention that she can use, right? The negative elements of groupthink. And she likes to have that added layer of protection, that plausible deniability at any one time. And she utilizes that. She's cunning and clever, and she recognizes how to best situate herself to make it look like she's being victimized at all points in time. So to even fantasize about the fact that she could be otherwise normal and still have a relationship with everybody that she's burnt bridges with is a little bit misguided on my end. I know. I know that. Anyway, I presented it nonetheless. Hey, Purple, good to see you. I was just over soaking it all up over there. But there's a little, I'm just touching on some points, especially over at OLAP. They do a good job bringing certain clips and finding clips that are out there. I appreciate that very much. Good to see you, Taze. Taze, I'm trying to introduce, and this is not a stretch or a fantasy of mine. I'm trying to introduce Rex and Susan in order to build and establish some sort of relationship that they can both benefit from over the internet. Okay, because and hopefully into real life, in a long distance relationship in that sense. And I really mean that, because they both have and give the sort of attention that they really, or put out, they desire. They could really benefit one another's game in that sense. And they could, it's like having a new partner, a new co-host in life. But I really genuinely think, Katie, that they would get along in that sense, because they're both so superficial. All they're looking for is that superficial affirmation that they get by, like for Rex, for example, he'll be claiming that he's some sort of genius physicist, and Susan will be so impressed that she'll just automatically just recite it, and Rex will be like, oh yeah, this girl's for me. You know what I mean? That she believes all his bullshit, and then he believes all her bullshit, and all they need is just one other person that believes in their bullshit, and they could actually reach nirvana in this existence. It seems like a bizarre thought, but I think actually it's more human-like in what happens in reality than not. And here they are in cyberspace, just millimeters away from one another. Right. And they both love to live stream. They both need to spice things up in that sense, because Susan gets in trouble with when she starts talking and start, embellishing and starting to believe the things that the negative aspects and elements that she invites in her chat take over. She gets into trouble. However, if she started supporting Rex and he's now changed. He's not so much of a flat earther anymore. Apparently he disbelieves this, but maybe they can start something in that regards. Now, hold on. Let's continue on with this.
You said he had one valve, and then you
wait
told
9 months. He
Purple.
would have lived anyway, so he didn't even get that.
Well,
He didn't
Susan,
get that.
one valve is not a thing, but anyways.
But the child was
um,
dead, in my stomach, so fuck off with that one.
A single
And why are you bringing this up to
ventricle?
me right now? I mean,
Because
that's
you
ridiculous.
are talking about my child.
There's no
who
one
has
talking about
some-
your child, man. It's on your fucking head. Stop taking this Xanax. Maybe you'll be able to see a bit clearer.
Oh my
Susan.
fucking God.
See, Rex could come up with all of these ways to defend herself in the eyes of her, well, perceived victimhood. He would be a great legal counsel for Susan with all of the shit that she claims, right? She needs a bit of help that way. And Rex would be right there to help her. Here's what you need to do, girl. They'll love each other. Oh, I need you. Next thing you know, they'll be live streaming together. The Rex and Susan show, live with Rex and Susan. Let's talk with Rex Fredrickson and Susan Bennett. I think that would be a fantastic. I would watch that. You guys would get all kinds right away. You would have 250 viewers in your live streams. Absolutely. If you and Susan, Rex, started joining one another's live stream panels and talked, and you would sort Susan's situation out in a legal sense, because she's got all kinds of problems that way, and she, like you, is a bit of a cripple. I think that's the proper word. That would be great. Maybe I should drop the link and get you two up here. Rex, let me know if you're in my chat.
You're
Susan.
fucking horrible.
That's enough, Susan. That was horrible.
And I don't. You know how bad that fucking hurts to hear? You try going through it, Susan. Have your baby in 16. Oh, I'm not gonna share all of you. He said 2 open heart surgeries. He's not expected to live to a certain age. You are a fucking bitch for saying that to me. You are.
That was horrible.
Amanda, your child is good and healthy. What the fuck?
Susan.
What are you fucking talking about?
You don't know her
nothing.
child.
You know fucking nothing, Susan.
Yeah, maybe I don't. You're right. Maybe
You
I don't
don't.
know anything.
Right. Well, you can reread the email and then do a little research, you dumb fuck.
Oh, there you go with the name calling. Okay.
Okay, well, you're going to talk about my kid and say that they're
I'm
okay.
talking about this
And
side of
it's
man.
all
You're the one
about me,
talking.
Susan, isn't it?
You
It's
are the
all
one
about
talking
me.
about him.
You
I'm not
hated that I
talking
got
about
attention.
anybody.
Go listen back to your life. You hated that I got attention, didn't you? And you said, so Amanda never brings up my dead son.
That's
But
what I'm
Amanda
talking
never
about.
brings up my dead.
Well, Susan's a one-upper. She's a one-upper, so she's got to dismiss your scenario and replace it in front of everybody's with her own. Right? She's right there to soak up all your attention.
Son. I've never talked about my son except for on your channel. You're so God. Susan, when you said you were a PTSD channel, what'd you all do?
Yeah, this was very powerful. I found it was very powerful and unexpected as well. And how effective that is in front of us, in front of an audience. I'm not saying she's embellishing your story, but I was moved by her story. This happened on randomly on Purple's channel, I think last Saturday. I'm like, oh boy, Susan. Took Susan by surprise. I'm like, boy, that's fire. That's good. Hey, yeah, good to see you. But she got Susan right where she wanted her. And Susan wouldn't budge. She's hard, isn't she? Susan's like thick in that sense. She refuses to budge and hold herself accountable. In regards to life, you need to hold yourself accountable even when it's not your fault. Then you can acknowledge somebody else's involvement or accountability in that sense after you acknowledge your own. Even if it's just superficial, you have to make that, you have to be humble to a degree, or else it doesn't go over well. But Susan is not like that. Susan's insistent that her stories, which are always a mashup of everybody else's stories that she's heard, are at the forefront. Oh my dear Lord.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell y'all a story. This is a story all about Susan, whose life got
Rex,
fucking
Rex
flipped, turned
does the
upside
exact
down.
same thing. Exact same thing. And Taze, the thought behind all of this is that when you put them both together, they have the only other person in the world doing the exact same thing. So thereby, they would understand the signals that only grifters understand in that sense. It would work so well. They would be a great tag team, a great tandem.
She went on Molly's channel, told a fucking story about how she had a twin fucking sister. Then, to make people accept her back, she said, I have PTSD. I was in the fucking war. I don't know. And then she had a bunch of, yeah, Susan, you're not going to like it. But this is the truth. And then you had a bunch of vets come on. The vets come on. I won't name their names because God, I could, but I won't do that to them. And you tried to help them. And you talked about how you had body parts blowing up all over you. And it was a fucking lie. Nobody was blowing up all over you. What was it?
It was a lie. Yes,
yeah, to cover up
Oh
your
my
rape.
God.
It was a lie. Yes,
Yeah,
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 it was a lie. Yes,
yeah, to cover up
Oh
your
my
rape.
God.
It was a lie to cover up your you said you told that story because you didn't want to tell the story about your rape or your assault, your suicide, your assault, right? So you told that lie to cover up these things so you could talk about it, right? And you
Wow.
tell vets.
What?
No, I'm telling you the fucking truth. She knows
What?
she did this shit.
What?
Who-
Susan, that's horrible.
He did that, and this person has no right to just be talked to like so. Oh, Susan, I know you're okay, and she still does it today. She'll lie about everyone and anyone and slander anyone. It's
I
bullshit.
mean, you're the one
Susan.
going around to other people's channels and
I'm just telling the truth.
you know what
Susan,
I
I'm
mean?
telling the truth.
Yeah, okay, tell your truth. I mean, I'm not gonna say it. Do what you gotta do. I don't care.
Susan, I'm telling your
Yes,
truth.
you think I care? I don't.
You
Sorry.
should.
Good, you should care.
How heartless is that? How heartless is that? I think that's the real Susan. On one hand, you have what would otherwise be or should be a person who is so empathetic and so caring and sensitive to other people's situations because she herself has been through it, or so she claims. See, she's exposed what she's doing. Amanda Wolf is exposing her for the liar that she really is. Because you can't walk around with all of these claims and demand that people treat you a certain way, and in the same breath be as cruel and dismissive of other people who are so genuinely emotional and trying to connect with you on a certain level. You're refusing to even accept connection. You're not receptive to it at all. Oh, yeah, you know what? Not even determining what's real or what's not. I'm just scrutinizing her character, her attitude. And I mean, when you're put on the spot like that, you can respond in different ways. Maybe it's just a bad time. Hey, Tooth Fairy, maybe it's just a bad time and she caught her on a bad day, but isn't she up there on Purple's panel to make amends and smooth things over? You know, Amanda Wolf's story and situation in that sense is genuine enough, and she was taken advantage of emotionally and manipulated and continuously blackmailed. And she's showing everybody that you're not going to get very far with Susan in that sense. And that's heartbreaking. Susan, you could at least apologize and try to understand where she was coming from at the very least. That way you would at least know what you could dismiss. But the fact that you just want to avoid it at all costs gives the other individual really all the footing that she needs. There's a lot of traction in what she had to say. And in turn, people will cast judgment in that sense. And you'll be right there to claim victim. Look at, you're victimizing her again. No, not really. That's not really victimizing you.
Susan, go get your life right. Knock the
Oh, I
shit
got
off.
good. I'm getting
Not
ready. I'm
this shit.
moving out. I'm going down by my boy. I'm good.
Right. But your boy isn't going to be around somebody who tells this shit, who lies like this and
My
acts like
son
this.
is
I'm
good.
telling you the truth.
My boy's good. He loves his mama. That's all
You
that
know,
matters.
That's good. He loves the mom he thinks he has. That's great. I want him to love his mama. I want him to love his mama.
Oh, listen to Susan. Oh yeah, he loves his mama. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if your son was an adult and you're walking around saying that? Well, my little boy loves his mama, doesn't he? Smooky wookie wookie. That's such a fucking bizarre scenario. I don't believe there was ever any loss, as it all came about after she heard other stories. Oh, absolutely. She's a one-upper, Cinnamon. People continuously want to seemingly negotiate with her with all of these bullshit claims, and that's right where she wants to be. She wants to be there to sort out what you believe about 100% of the bullshit stories that she presents. The reality is that you should be not believing any of it. Why is it important? Why is it important that she comes bearing all of her scars at the forefront? The answer is so that she has you believing in something that she's not. She's trying to make it in this community. For those super chats at the end of the day, these PayPals, these Cash Apps. This is how they do it. This is how it's done.
Purple. Was she in the war and had bodies?
No, I
blown up
was
on
not.
her?
No, I was in the Irish Defense Force.
Okay,
I was
thank you.
British Army.
Thank you. Thank you.
well,
That was
that's
a
what I
horrible lie
talking
to
about.
tell.
Yes,
That's
my husband was.
Yeah, and I've learned from it. I have.
Where is that? Hold on. Where is Susan Bennett's sister? Where is that clip? Who released that the other day? Where did I see that? Is that an OLAP's channel as well? Let me pull this up. You've got to hear this. Is it also on this one? Okay, hold on. Let me find it in the background.
Learned from it. I should never have said that. I've learned.
When people bring it up, you still say, I was in, no, but I
No,
was
I
in the
don't,
Irish
Amanda.
Defense Forces.
I don't.
No, yes,
no.
you do. You
I
just did
kept
a couple
clean
of
all
days
that with
ago.
you. I did an interview with Jerry.
Oh, out of courtesy, I'm sharing the link again. Go over and hit this up and subscribe to OLAP if you haven't already. There's a lot of gems in regards to the history of Susan Bennett and these famous clips in which she sheds all accountability in regards to. I love it.
And I think I kept clean with all that. So that's all,
I want to say something. Okay, you may have been in the military, but saying people were blown up all around you and body parts. No,
Yeah,
see, that's,
and I
wait,
should
let
never.
me finish.
I never
Let me
should never
finish,
say-
please.
And then we're talking back, 4 years now when I said
don't
that.
Oh,
care.
so that's a big deal that was 3 years ago? You still bring it up,
hold on.
Susan.
Let's speak.
You hate that I'm up here because I'm going to
I
expose
know
all
the
your
person
shit.
Never said that.
I was still talking, Susan.
You
I
did
wasn't
so.
finished.
I'm sorry, Ann. I apologize.
You said that and it wasn't true. See, that really happened to my husband. Do you know what
I
kind of
apologize.
PTSD? Wait, let me finish. You know what kind of PTSD that really causes with your fake PTSD? You were trying to
Yeah, I told the
portray.
vet
Let
about
me.
I don't have fake
Yeah,
PTSD.
We
I
did.
have-
Wait a minute. I'm not
I
done,
do have
Susan.
PTSD.
I'm not. That really does cause problems. My husband's sitting right here next to me and he has to leave because I'm talking about it. That causes so much trauma and drama in their heart and soul for you to lie about that. It's horrible. It's one of the most horrible things you could have said. I don't care how many years ago you said that. That is fucking horrible.
And I totally agree with you. I should never have said it. And I ended up.
Actually, that's a good observation, Kwai K77. If you agree with Susan just a little, she'll start calling you honey. That's true. Thinking back, that's right. That's a signal that she's, at least psychologically, switched you from negative into positive in her own mind. It's an in signal. Unfortunately, I know so much about Susan from trying to be her friend since the Molly days. I will never be around her flip-flopping, lying ass again. I love it. I think that's funny shit. I'm so sorry you had that experience with her. Well, listen, she's around Molly for a reason. There's a lot of individuals that are attracted to Molly in that way, because they feel, I think, that Molly's core audience is less than intelligent. So they go and try to emulate the things and really mimic the script, so to speak, because Molly's this bullshit life coach, and that's a signal to other con artists out there to go and see what all the huff's about and try to go in there and carp some of her audience in that sense. Two wars, Susan's fake PTSD. Yeah, and she claims to be in the UK Army. I've never heard of that. It's just a general massive troops that sit around, and what do they do? We call them the UK Army. Holy fuck. The UK Army on the dole. Is that what they call themselves? Is that everybody on the dole in the United Kingdom?
Up to it, and I apologize, and I should never have said
What's
that.
their motto? What's their Latin motto? Like, what is it? Fortune favors the brave would be the English special forces. I wonder what Susan's Latin motto is. Where's your medals? You should have some sort of medal, wouldn't you? A participation ribbon.
And to talk about Amanda's son that has passed and told her she's addicted to
No, my
Xanax.
son has passed. Her son's alive.
Listen, and let me tell you,
Okay.
and she keeps saying he's alive and whatever. I'm just going to tell you guys the truth. He has hypoplastic left heart syndromes.
I don't know.
Does anybody know what that is?
No.
Okay. So if you knew what that is, go look up their life expectancy.
No, I don't know what that is. I'm not a doctor.
Well, she's
You
gonna tell you.
should stop. I'll tell you. You should stop saying he's alive and kicking. You have no idea how hurtful that is when you bring that shit up. He will not. I'm not going to bring it up here, but stop saying that shit, Susan. Stop saying that I'm an addicted mother to Xanax and bringing up my son at the same time like it's my fault.
See, really, what she's upset about is that Susan has targeted her based upon the fact that Susan now knows all about her intimate personal details that she's been encouraged to share, because Susan is just out there and kind and looking for all of these individuals to connect with that have been traumatized in life. Everybody is. Everybody has. But if you identify, that's what she's really looking for. People who identify themselves as being victims, because the abused does as they're told in that sense.
Well,
I
Amanda,
wasn't
you're
addicted.
the one who said you were addicted to Xanax, not me.
Yes, I was
You
addicted
just
to Xanax.
said it.
Listen, I have been sober for 12 years.
Well done.
12
Good.
fucking years.
So you tried so hard to be her friend. Caught her in so many lies and stayed up with her many nights, all trying to calm her fake ideations. What her sister said is true. So, really, She was working overtime behind the scenes. Oh, Discord is exactly where she loves to be, isn't it? Oh, come on, join in me. We need to connect all night long. What sort of ideations was she having?
Good.
What I said to you is, I've been sober for this long. I was having a really hard time with my son and having anxiety attacks. And that's why Susan, I'm so vulnerable to you. You're so rude for bringing this up. I was like, this is getting too heavy. Because I don't care about you, Susan. I really don't anymore. So I'm just gonna leave it alone.
So
Susan, why do you gotta answer with negative?
All of these self-harm situations, like the picture, she struck that picture off my wall the other day, the one that Purple sent me, or not Purple, but what's that account's name? Sucker Punch sent me about the picture with the ketchup all over the arm of Susan. Is that the one that came from Discord with her, ideations of self-harm in that scenario you're referring to? You've also noticed Susan weaponizes her own SA paperwork as well. Oh, look at me. So word has it, they had to put her, she got so hammered up during the lockdown. They came and took her out in her assisted living home and had to sedate her. They had to sedate her because she was so out of control. They put her down and put her on a ventilator. She refused to be treated, which I can understand why. I would be concerned too. But the fact that she was like inebriated was what really topped it off. Like she wasn't rational in that sense. So they were forced to really put drugs in her system and calm her down. She was off the wall, allegedly.
Negativity on everything.
You're the one who did this. The only reason she was pissed at you guys is because I came up on one day and I said, Susan, you're the one who put your own address out there. It's on your lanyard, on your life. And then she got pissed. And then I was the bitch. And then she had to tell my whole story and just be a bitch about it. It's horrible. Susan, I hope no one trusts you with anything. Because I hope they see that everything people tell you, you tell people. And you need to own that. And don't do the poor.
Tell people she just turned around, went online, put you on blast, and shamed you over things, trying to convince people based upon the facts that she's soaked out of everybody in the background. She just turns them all and then spins them into something to put all these poor so-called friends that she's drawn in to harm. Spreading disinformation, all kinds of souped up accusations in that sense to really evoke emotion out of a person. Meanwhile, everything that Susan's said and done has been a manipulation. She's a legit bad actor. Like, she's legitimate. She's not just a person up there making mistakes. She's really, really a malicious motherfucker.
Me. Oh, I'm so you need to own everything that's happened in your life. It's happened because of you.
Renee, okay.
Yes, Susan.
God took my first time because it was all my fault. Is that what you're saying?
Susan,
never
I'm not
said that.
saying that.
Yeah, she's a groomer. She's an absolute groomer. And based upon her behaviors that people have been identifying, that's when all of this came up in regards to how deep does this go with old Susan Bennett? Like she's the person that grooms the child into the situation in that sense. It's a real problem occurring all over the UK. And she, of course, is an illegal alien in the United Kingdom. She's there legally.
She never
You
said
just
that.
said you just said that everything is my fault,
I said
right?
only the
No.
decisions you make, decisions you make in your life.
Yeah.
You have made
Not the
certain
one about
decisions
your
that have
son.
put you in the
Better,
spot
but
where you're in.
we're getting there. We're good.
Yeah,
Not
so
about
quit
your
telling
son.
lies about people, quit being ugly to people.
Man, no one has been ugly to you in a long time. Let me tell you that.
Susan, you were
Even
just
talk
ugly
about
to
you.
me like 5 days ago.
And right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what do you want me to do? I mean,
Just
seriously.
stop.
Say you're
Just
fucking
stop.
sorry.
Yes.
And stop.
Apologize.
Well, Amanda, why don't you stop and I'll stop? How about that?
Then what did I do?
Just apologize and
It makes
stop.
you
That's
want to
all.
stop. It makes me want to stop. When you talk about my son like
Stop. I mean,
that,
I
you're mad
apologize.
because I'm
Stop.
talking in chats about what you actually did. You actually lied about things. You actually said these things. And you're pissed at me because I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, Amanda,
You
we
want me to
know.
stop? You're
I
going to
said
shame
these
me.
things a long
It's so
time ago. I shouldn't
manipulative.
have said it.
Yeah, so just quit being manipulative. Quit making people hate me for what you did.
No one
That's what you
hates
do.
you. I mean,
No,
who
you want
hates
people to
you,
think I'm
man?
like this. I'm like this. Oh, this
Well, that's Susan's main weapon in that sense. She'll sit up there and she'll accuse everybody else of something that they didn't do, to the point of people talking about it. And here's another example of that, right?
Xanax out bitch and dude, and I got a son with a heart problem, dude, and he's alive and kicking. Oh, what a that's the story you make up, not me. And I sent you the fucking pictures, bitch.
Wow, well, look at that. She called me a bitch.
Well, Susan, do you
no, I
blame
think
her?
I'm better, being honest.
Honey, seriously, do you blame her? She's
No.
hurt.
You see that? All of a sudden, she acknowledges the fact that she called her a bitch, but never any of the actual context. Just this. Oh, well, how am I supposed to acknowledge this when you called me these names? Oh, like a bitch.
She's
And to
upset.
be honest, I don't blame her, but that was a long time ago, and I shouldn't have
So,
said
but
things.
good.
I
Okay,
owned up
keep
to
going.
all that. I do own it. Yeah.
Okay, now apologize and just stop. That's all she's asking.
All right, Amanda, I'm sorry. Just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. How about that? Just
Thanks
leave
for
me
the
alone.
apology.
I'll leave
And
you
if
alone.
you ever, Susan, you need to tell the truth. I was
I'm
so
telling the truth.
Susan, I was kind to you. I was so kind to you and giving to you. And I'm done with it. Yes, I was kind to you, giving to you. I gave you my time. I gave you a lot of things. I was kind to you, and you've treated me with nothing but disrespect because you're mad because I told some kind of truth, I guess, that they shouldn't be mad or
No,
they.
Amanda, I'm not mad.
Nobody looked into your past. It was just on your lanyard. It's what I said.
Amanda,
Susan, you don't remember a lot of shit because it didn't happen to you.
Amanda, I don't know.
Remember-
I never.
I forgive you because you don't remember what
did that
happened.
amount,
You
Brandy. I
did
know
that.
what Brandy-
You
Brandy's
did,
going through.
Susan. I bet there's people in chat who would say you did that if they were freaking brave
Okay.
enough. Because you did do that shit.
So Amanda's going to bring up a lot of lies. Okay.
A load of lies? You know how hard it is when you tell somebody a story about your child? Like, personally, this is when you had like nobody on your channel, right? It was just a couple. I mean, it was like 20 people. So I wasn't feeling like I was being like exposed to like thousands of people or something. And then 10 days or 18 days later, after you sent pictures and told your story to that person, they then say they had a child who passed away from that same thing. Then they tell Purple that didn't happen. It was because you had an appendix out. And you told the wrong age, Susan. That's the truth. I'm just going to tell you, I didn't want to say your child didn't die. But when you're telling inconsistencies, it just doesn't look good.
Really? Well, everyone knows
Yes,
I did lose a little boy.
Susan, I'm so sorry you lost a little boy in utero. I'm so sorry.
He didn't
I
make
really
it.
am.
He died. I mean, yeah, we had
Yeah, I'll
scans done.
apologize.
We went to one scan one time, and yeah, he was dead.
I don't want to fight about this anymore, Susan. I don't.
Yeah,
Just
well,
quit bringing. Seriously, Susan. I'm telling you, it hurt me very deeply. The things you've said. I've never come up and said you're this, that, and the other until you started being this way to me, Susan. All I'm telling you is the reason I thought you weren't telling the truth is because you've never told anyone. You had Tony and all these people up on your lives who've lost
Yeah,
children.
I
You've
don't-
never told anybody you've lost a child. And then 10 days after I tell you about my child and
Well,
send you
Amanda, let
pictures,
me tell you a
you
little
bring
fucking
up
shit.
that you
Let me tell
lost
you
a
something.
child in utero when I said
Amanda,
that was
let
going
me
to
tell
happen to
you
me at 20
something.
weeks old. 20 weeks, they gave
My
me an
family know,
option
and that's not what
to
matters.
delete the pregnancy. That's how serious this is.
My family know that's not what matters. Okay, they know the
That's
truth.
good. Good. So leave me the fuck alone. I'm serious.
Oh.
Just stop. What
I,
did you do?
maybe
Seriously,
I
Susan.
might, hold
Susan,
on.
what did I do? Can you please tell me what I did? What did I do that made you
You
turn
didn't do
against
anything.
me?
Well, what did you do? I mean, Jesus, my God.
He
What?
is my God.
I'm gonna mute.
I don't
Well,
care how many years.
Absolutely, Amanda was in the right. Hold on.
Twice. I don't mind to say this. See, this is the thing about me. I'm very true. And you know what? The sections I put myself there. I actually told them to put me in there because I knew that I was not mentally okay. I was never sectioned as per hold. I went in voluntarily. Okay. You have a be there. When I showed the man painting, he tried to say, "Oh, is that your mixed race child?" You know, once again, bringing children into stuff. Once again, I think AB is a bit of a he has a problem with mixed race children. Maybe he's a problem with his problem with people. The strawberry cupcakes, you can go fuck yourself. You ain't coming out of block list for no one. AB, you can go fuck yourself. You try telling people I don't have a son. Funny. That's funny when someone tells me I don't have a son when I know I'll clearly give birth to one. You know, you see people pointing out all my wrongs throughout YouTube, but you never see people pointing out the positives I'm trying to do. How can you re-victimize a victim? Make that make sense? How can you re-victimize a victim when they're
How? See, there you go, right there. How she's alleging that I'm re-victimizing Susan by somehow acknowledging or questioning any sort of the claims that she presents. Anytime that I question anything that she claims, she automatically spins victim. How can you re-victimize me? That's re-victimizing me. Questioning anything that I have to claim is victimizing me. No. The world doesn't play by those rules, honey.
they were already be given fucking compensation for their injuries. I mean, make that make sense, right? People call me a drunk and they call me this, they call me that, well, I'm like, yeah, say what you want to fucking say. Who cares? And no, I'm not an ex-trafficker. Just so you know that. I'd have nothing to do with any of that shit. Maybe that's what you do over where you live, but no, ma'am. Sorry, it doesn't work here. I've been told that I didn't even have a son, but I mean, go figure. Are you gonna believe everything you think you see on YouTube? No, Emma. Do you believe everything you see on YouTube? you know. But I appreciate you coming in and asking me. At least I appreciate.
Hey, Purple, are you still in here? Can you let me know if it was on your channel that I heard the phone call? Maybe it was your channel from the other night, the phone call from Susan's sister. Did you play that? Is that where I'm thinking it was from?
Appreciate that. You're complaining about being people calling you ex trafficker. You say you are what I mean, you can blabber your flaps all day long. I mean, you can blabber your flaps all day long. I mean, you can blabber your.
Play it from Emma's. Mine was taken down. Oh, was it? Where's Emma played it yesterday? What's her channel? What's your channel called? That's a classic. I mean, that really sums up everything. That's so powerful too. And now looking back, it's like, wow, the sister ended up being probably fairly accurate. And atop it all, she warned everybody. Emma 666. Okay, thank you. Here is Emma 666's channel. Let me just pop it in. Yeah, it's Emma 666. Let's see. I'm already subscribed, as it turns out. I'll turn my notifications on, though. Let's see. Not good. Susan's sister speaks. Oh, yeah, baby. 13 hours ago, girl. Look at this. Oh, fuck, she beat me to the punch. Let's see.
Yeah. He'll tell you that himself.
Do you have a timestamp roughly where this is? It's probably near the beginning, isn't it?
Not a SWAT. And by the way, on Gardaí Síochána knows of your threat of a SWAT to my house. So you don't even go there. You won't even go there with me. Where we're going to take Susan on a little bit.
Subscribe to her. I appreciate her for sending the algorithm. It's just a voice thing, but I will.
Okay, so it's just the audio.
No,
It's the audio. The voice that you're about to hear is Susan's sister tearing a strip off of Susan Bennett from Let's Talk with Susan Bennett here on YouTube.
this is to address Susan, my sister, as she calls me her biological sister. I'll call her my biological sister. Susan, what you're saying is very wrong. Very, very wrong indeed. I'm going to say.
Oh, wait. And before I keep playing this, how many of you have not heard this? Put a 1 in the chat. I would just like to see how many people have not heard this, because I haven't.
I think I've heard it a couple times, but I don't remember a lot of it. So it's new every time.
Fucking heard it. So I can promise most of my community hasn't fucking heard it. I would just like to know.
Now, and I'm going to start from the beginning, from where we're having a long journey with you. From the age up to 19, you had your first encounter with a relationship.
Well, there you go. To whoever the fuck said that to me. Look at all the goddamn fucking ones. So
I love it. She's going to come up and tell everybody the story of her life. When you was 18, you had your first relationship, an introduction, and you couldn't keep off the bottle. They had to take all your kids away because you were just such a hardcore drug addict.
Sorry, Jesse, 1 second late.
Call her my biological sister. Susan, what you're saying is very wrong. Very, very wrong indeed. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to start from the beginning, from where we're having a long journey with you. From the age up to 19, you had your first encounter with a relationship.
Sorry, Jesse, 1 second late. Wait for a few more people to come in, okay? Is that okay? Just wait like a minute for a few more people to come in and then talk, okay? I'll be right. Okay.
Here we go. You had your first encounter when you were 19, Susan. It's 19-year-old. You had your first encounter, darling.
I don't have it muted. There's a.
You've already turned Rex on. Stop keeping me in suspense.
You can talk, Jess. You can start talking. You're ready.
Susan, for a long time now, you have been hurting family online, and we're not going to put up with it anymore. What you've been doing for the last while and the last few years, even before YouTube, has hurt family dearly. From the age of 18 to 19, you had your first relationship outside of home. You were highly addicted to alcohol and drugs from a young age. You moved to England with your daughter at the age of 14. Your daughter
At the age of 40 or 14?
was. Remember, you took that child from a family home here and you moved her to England, and you gave her a dog's life.
Yeah, it was on. It sounds to me like she's talking to Purple. I'm pretty sure this is Purple she's talking to.
You took that child from a family home here and you moved her to England.
Fuck, wait, I missed a part.
And drugs from a young age. You had your first relationship outside of home. You were highly addicted to alcohol and drugs from a young age. You moved to England with your daughter at the age of 14. Your daughter was. Remember, you took that child from a family home here and you moved her to England, and you gave her a dog's life. That child ended up with severe mental health and ended up walking away from you and returning home to Ireland to live with her father. And if you want, Susan, family members can...
Okay, Purple, it's another creator. Okay, I thought it sounded like you at the beginning there. My apologies.
Can state that as fact. On top of that, you got so out of it and so addicted to drugs. There's multiple TikToks, multiple videos of you in your home, drunk as a skunk. The other night is another example of what you did. Drunk, pulling your tongue out of your face, walking around your flat, showing everyone your flat. And yet...
Oh, are those are those the ones where...
Yeah, those. We've seen those ones before. She's all hammed up. Her coming out. That's where a lot of the screenshots come from.
I regret making those TikToks. I do. I regret making all of those TikToks. I wish I never made those TikToks. The ones that I was sent and I still have to watch. Oh, I can't wait to watch those.
Yes, I did do a welfare check on you, Susan, not a SWAT. And by the way, Gardaí Síochána knows of your threat of a SWAT to my house. So you don't even go there. You won't even go there with me. Where we're going to take Susan on a little bit of a little journey, a memory trip, right? Susan, you know, and I know.
Hey, Barry, if you don't like it here, go watch something else. What do you want me to tell you? You look ridiculous when you're in the chat reeing. If you don't like it here, go watch something you enjoy. You fucking idiot. You fucking idiot.
That you don't even go there. You won't even go there with me. Where we're going to take Susan on a little bit of a little journey, a memory trip, right? Susan, you know, and I know that you're having severe problems that you lost your own child. You lost Ali. Ali at age 6 was taken into care because of your severe drinking and drugging. Do I believe that you were ever raped? No, I don't. I believe you told a lie. You ended up in a psychiatric ward. You covered it and pretended you were raped to say that your child was taken because of a rape. No, he was not. He was taken due to severe neglect, severe malnutrition, and severe problems where it came to minding that child.
Well, that...
Wow. So Susan allegedly severely, neglected her daughter. No mention of her son yet, is there? Her half Asian son that she made up.
That's fucked up. Jesus fucking Christ. Wow, Susan. Wow.
You got that child back about 1.5 years later. You moved another man from Ireland into your home that was also a drug addict. A second time, that child was taken from you. Again, family stepped in. Family were trying to take that child home to Ireland, and you blocked it. You blocked it.
So she took in another man and had another child, probably her half Asian son, and then had her half Asian son taken from her because of severe drinking and drugging. Really? So Susan's quite the drinker. She can really pack him down.
Left that child in care for a further year in the custody of CPS in England, Child Protective Services. Then Ali's father turn around and took that child, which you hate him for. You are making that man's life a misery. You're making family a misery because you can't have what you want. You can't cope minding children. You can't rear the child. You can't love him the way he should be loved. You couldn't love Melanie how she should have been loved. So how in the hell?
Oof. That's ridiculous. Well, but again,
She can't. She refused to love those children. Well, they didn't need any food. Could you imagine the torture? You know how hard it is? Oh, hunger pains are the worst. And she's all there suppressed because she's suppressing her appetite. That's the result of the drugs and the drinking. And the kids, again, are the one to suffer because of it. But she doesn't pay them any mind, so she wouldn't notice. That's heartbreaking.
again, Barbie girl. I love it when people come in here, engage in my chat, promote my chat, but like pump up my algorithm. That's why I say don't block trolls that just come in here to be like, I hate it here. I hate it here. Why are you covering this? I hate it here. I hate it here. But I'm going to keep commenting. I'm going to keep commenting and engaging in your chat. But I hate it here. I hate it. Fuck off. Also, Susan said, okay, it's fair use. That means it goes both ways. It means I can cover you too. And I said, go for it. Cover me. React to my shit. I don't give a fuck. Yes, Mega. This is, oh shit, I bumped too fast. Yes, this is her sister on a live stream talking about Susan.
You can't do because you can't have what you want. You can't cope minding children. You can't rear the child. You can't love him the way he should be loved. You couldn't love Melanie how she should have been loved. So how in the hell do you think you're moving to London to move in around two children that don't want to be around you? And at that, you're saying that you have court papers gone in for months to support that your child is coming to you for weekends. You're telling people sob stories every week how you're moving to London. You haven't a pot to piss in. You're drugging it up your nose and in your arms and down your throat with alcohol.
So sounds like she's that diabolical. She's got the needle in her arm. She's snorting it just as we suspected. She's doing a lot of snorting of her pain prescriptions and washing it all down with some Guinness. Probably like a day old Guinness too. That's warm and gross.
There's no way.
To be fair, I made that assessment before I even knew that she took a sip of alcohol because she sounds sloshed as fuck when she starts her live streams. And by the end of her live streams, I can barely make out what she's saying.
Pot to piss in. You're drugging it up your nose and in your arms and down your throat with alcohol. There's no way CPS will allow you near that child, nor the father of the child. And where it comes to my father, where it comes to me, whether it comes to any member of our family, we are all well aware of how you are for the last while. We're dealing with this crap long enough. Long enough. You are so jealous of other family members here at home that have an ordinary everyday life. We're ploughing along, doing our own thing, bringing up our families, and you can't cope with that. We have been there. We have been there as much as we can. Even you, when you went in for COVID, we were all there. We were all there on phones. We're in different countries. Myself and your father came to your bedside in your hour of need. We were there. We brought the best of the best we could bring there for you, and we spent as much time with you as we could. You have been offered home here numerous occasions for.
So her sister and her husband were at her bedside in her time of need during COVID, where she had to be put under for being so uncooperative and hammered due to the drugs and drink. They had to sedate her like nobody's business, like a horse, a wild horse, bucking bronco.
Holidays, to spend Christmas, to spend Easter. You have no excuse. Money would have been put forward to buy a ticket for you. You had plenty of houses you could have come from and stayed, and you would have been welcomed with open arms. But you choose not to. You choose to drink and hide in your flat, drugging every day of the week. It's no different whether it's now, which you're already drunk, and I can see it on you, and I can see by your demeanour and your language that you're already drunk. And you turning on a cam the other night showing a 7-Up bottle, you forget to hear that we could all hear the glass bottles in the background, Susan. We could all hear it. You really, really, really are a very sick girl. You need to go into rehab and you need to dry yourself out and come off the drugs because you're never getting near it.
That's right. You need to get in the wet house. We thought you were already in the wet house. She refuses. You can hear it. And you know the cycle starts again daily. Susan, please, honey. Please, honey. Take the advice of your half-Asian son and get in the wet house.
Any of those two children. Never, never. There's not a court in the land that will let you near them children. And I'm looking at what you've been doing for the last few weeks. You're throwing slur out in front of myself, your father, Chris, because we're moving around in different chats. You're jealous. People seem to like us. You're jealous. You've made up this factitious lie that I'm the Purple Tavern. Did I share little clips of the Purple Tavern videos with you? I took them directly off the Purple Tavern page like everybody else did, Susan. And you know that because we commented and laughed at some of them and we didn't laugh at others. So there's no way I'm Purple Tavern. I don't have room in my life to be a clip channel. I barely have time for myself. I have a family to run. I have a life outside of YouTube. So does your father. So does Chris. And remember, Susan, there's one lady that brought me to YouTube and she's sitting on the panel beside you, Heidi, right? Heidi brought me here and I'm here to stay. There's not one thing that any one of you can say against me that will take me away from YouTube because I'm a strong person. And let me tell you, I give as good as I get. I'll give back. Now, you can take that whatever way you want, Heidi, and you can take that whatever way you want, Purple, and you can take it whatever way you want, Susan, because look what you've done to your channel. You've shit on all your subs. You have berated them. You've slated them. The best people, I said, that were there for you from day one, I said, you've shit on them. I said, there you are over in Tony's, and you've shit on Tony many a times. You've shit on Precious. You've shit on numerous subs, September, Roxy, anyone there that wanted to start their own lives recently in the last few weeks. I said, you've doxed your own.
So it sounds like Susan's sister is knowing all about her business, and to the point of all of the accounts that already call Susan out in that sense. So she must watch Susan to, she must monitor Susan's channel for all of these crazy antics.
Nieces, when trolls come in with their pictures, when everyone knows, get rid of the troll and fuck them out and don't name them. But what did you do? You named them because it was sport to you, I said. 10 hours is sick. You couldn't do this for 2 hours and not feel sick. You couldn't. But I will tell you, Susan, a lot. And there is much more to come about Susie's life if Susie wants to divulge Susie's life. A lot more. Do you want me to keep going, Susan, do you? Do you really want me to keep going? Because you have a past here in Ireland as well. Remember that. You have a big past here in Ireland. Now, that's what I have to say for you now today, Susan. You leave my family alone. You leave your father and Chris alone. You leave all the family and extended family. You got so upset, apparently, but you weren't upset today that your sister rang you and told you about her new baby that day. But you got so upset online when you were drunk that night. Your sister was gifting you word for word out of her own mouth after having her baby, but you shit on her. You shit on her like you have the rest of us. And you know what? Anyone to believe Susan and her factitious drunken lies would want their own heads checked now at this stage. Really and truly would want their heads checked. Now I'm going to drop down because I've said what I have to say to you, Susan, but I can keep going if you want me to.
Is that a trick question? Of course we want you to keep going. You should have your own channel, Jesse. So yeah, Heidi, you brought Jesse to YouTube. God bless that move. Fantastic. Her sister sounds like she was trying to help Susan, but Susan poo-poos all over her sister online all the time. Absolutely. Oh, look at it. See, I told you, look at how people are victimizing me. She did it to herself. She's antisocial. Man, that was hard. Girl, hell, that was excellent. Susan got a strip torn off her back. Good morning, Jennar. So somehow I got to figure out a way to introduce Susan and Rex to one another. Maybe I'll join Rex's panel and I'll let him know that I found a gal for him. Susan, I know you're out there listening, girl. I need you to prepare yourself, get yourself all gussied up, because I want to introduce a man to you by the name of Rex Allen Fredrickson. And I think that he's going to fulfill a lot of your needs at this point in time. And I'm not talking physically. Of course, there's that too, but you guys would have all kinds of things to talk about. He could offer you up all sorts of legal counsel in regards to your victimization here, especially online. And he's quite aware of UK law to a degree. He's clever. I'm going to figure that out. As for the rest of you, thank you for tuning in this morning. I'll be back a little later on to see what's up after the FOMC meeting. In the meantime, stay positive, friends. I'll see you in a little bit. Ciao.